Hey, what's going on? Josh from Zendesk, and today I want to show you how to connect Zendesk Sell to Google Sheets using Zapier. If you're not familiar with Zapier, Zapier is an integration platform which connects Sell to 1,000+ other products. Today we're using Google Sheets. In this example, I'd like to show you how to connect Google Sheets to Sell so that when anytime a lead is moved into unqualified, that lead will automatically be added into the Google Sheet. And in this example, you may be saying, well, why do I need to add them to Google Sheets? This is just an example. You can add this unqualified lead into a nurture flow, into an advertising program, whatever you want. But for now, we're looking at Google Sheets. So here I can see that I've got the lead here, and this would be my trigger anytime the lead is moved into unqualified. So what we need to do is first set up our Zapier trigger, and I'm selecting Make a New Zap. I've got my Zendesk Sell account already connected, but if you haven't connected it yet, you would just set that up by entering in your name and password. So when I select Sell, I'm going to set the trigger and move this to Updated Lead. And there's my account that's already been connected. And then I want to say, yes, this all looks good, and it'll pull in some examples if I want to. And there's my example right here, John Smith, who we were just looking at. And I'm good to go. The next step is to add a filter, because right now the Zap is triggering on every single time that the lead is updated. I only want it to filter out, so when that status is updated to unqualified, then a trigger can pass through. So let's add in a filter stage. And only continue if, and then I will say the status, we can say contains, and then we'll say unqualified. And we can then test and continue. And in this example, it's actually saying this lead wouldn't pass through, and that makes sense because it hasn't been unqualified yet. But I'm happy with that setup. I will hit continue. And we're ready to go. The final step is to say what then happens with leads once they meet this criteria. So I'll add the final step, and this is where I'd like to create the listing on Google Sheets. So I select Google Sheet from the dropdown, and I want to create a new row in the spreadsheet. So I select that as the option, select Save, and I need to connect a new Google Sheets account. So not a problem, I just select my email address, click Allow, and Zapier will do the rest. I select Save and Continue, and all I need to do is specify which sheet I want to send these to. So as I mentioned before, I created that sheet called Unqualified Lead, so that's the one I'm selecting, and there should be only one sheet on there, so I select Sheet 1. The final step here is to map all of the information from that lead onto my spreadsheet. So I select that I want to pull the information from this initial Sell trigger, and this is the first name field, so I want to pull in the first name. For the last name field, I want to specify the last name, and then we grab email address, and finally the date and this is just a generic date, but we can put in any date that's being set. In this case, I want the created at date. Set that and press continue. Google Sheets will finish the connection. I can send the test, and once that's complete, I'm finished. And if I go back and look at my unqualified leads, I see that John Smith has been passed through automatically. That wasn't there before. So everything looks good. I hit finish, and we'll call this Unqualified to Sheets. And then we'll just turn the Zap on, and I'm ready to go. So I can see it on my dashboard here, and next thing I want to do is test this out in a live setting. So we'll go back into our leads. There's another lead right here, and we'll change the status into unqualified. And what this should do is trigger the entire workflow to go through, and I can go and review it within Zapier if I'd like to. Now with Zapier, depending on what plan you're on, some tasks will be instant, some are set to run on a time basis. If you want to have a task run immediately, you can just select run here and it will perform that for you. So I can see that it's running manually, looking for the new leads, looking to see what's changed, and I can actually close that. It's triggered, captured, done. And now as I go back into my unqualified leads spreadsheet, I see that the next line was automatically populated. So this is just an example of how you can use the lead trigger to populate any type of product that you want to, but in this case, we're filling them into Google Sheets. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to connect Sell with Google Sheets using Zapier. If you don't have a Sell account yet, use the link below this video and get access to start trying Zendesk Sell today. Thanks for tuning in to watch this video. If you've enjoyed this channel, be sure to like and subscribe to show your support and see more content like this.